Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dark Souls 2, picking up right where we left off, once again without the HUD. Let me take care of that real quick. But yeah, here in the Huntsman's Copse, and as you probably still remember, last time we didn't defeat the boss of this area quite yet. I mean, to be honest, there's kind of like two... Oh wait, I didn't even rest at the bonfire. Well, surely want to take care of that. But yeah, to be honest, there's kind of like two bosses to this area. And the second one I don't really like too much. I have some very like stressful and mostly negative memories connected to that boss fight. I love the boss, I like the concept of it. It's just that when I last did him, it was probably the worst thing I ever had to do in Dark Souls 2. So for now, we're gonna be skipping on that guy. He's very much optional anyway, so let's first of all take care of the actual boss of this area, if you even want to call it that. And of course we're not just going back here. We already came this way in that last episode and picked up that key to the place that has the bonfire in it. Oh, there's actually a nice item for us. Probably not going to be worth it, but let's just see. Flame butterfly, that's not really worth it. Yeah, not really. But yeah, we came here already last time. Now it's just a matter of going back and maybe doing some additional stuff over in this direction. You can also very much go up here, which is something I didn't do last time. So let's maybe try to take care of that. There's a few additional guys up top, I believe, though. Let me see. At some point, I certainly want to put my bow on my other left-hand slot. As of right now, though, I don't think I'm going to be using it too much anyway, so let's just stick with what we got. And first of all, just do the boss, get to the next area, stuff like that. We should certainly be entering a new area in this episode. Kind of all depends on how well I do against the boss, but he's... I mean, I shouldn't say this before actually like going there and trying him, but he's one of the easier bosses of the game. Absolutely is. Right, you can drop down here. There's something nice for you to pick up. Poison moss. I mean, it's kind of debatable whether that's worth it or not, but I'd rather have extra stuff than not have extra stuff, right? So I'm a little scared right now, and I might just want to run for a little while because, oh yeah, exactly, that's why. Because there's gonna be, oh, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons again. Like, that's my big problem with the miracles, right? Because I always, for whatever reason, like, it doesn't make any fucking sense, but for some odd reason, I always hit the Estes button for using miracle. I don't know why that is. It's just something my brain constantly keeps telling me. I hate it. And hopefully I'm not going to die because of it. I mean, luckily, Rowena, or whatever her name is, I mean, I have no idea how to actually pronounce it. But luckily her attacks don't do as much. Certainly want to heal though. That was actually quite terrible. I'm not doing well against him/her whatsoever. Maybe let's just back it up again. Drink another Estus. It's not like we need too many for that boss fight. But I totally did forget about her, and she keeps breaking my guard, which is a really good tactic on her part. I mean, we're going to have to give her some credit for that. It's just not necessarily all that nice. Right. And that should now finish. Oh, not even, but now. Now she is dead. That's good. It's not going to give us anything, unfortunately, and of course this way you can't go, but as you can see, there's a nice little fog wall for us. That's not the one leading to the boss, though. Instead, very much this one over here is, and we absolutely are going to explore that in just a second. First of all, though, I would probably like to come this way again, just because I don't actually remember what's contained within. I mean, if I were to take a guess right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do that. It's going to be another necromancer and also a bunch of skeletons. And I mean, why not take care of that right now? I do realize that I'm doing kind of terribly when it comes to the combat and just surviving aspect of things. Certainly want to be careful now. But, I mean, I do have to be honest here. I was away for the weekend, as some of you might know, at a festival in Belgium. And I'm very much exhausted still. It's now been like a day that I've been home. and certainly nice to be back home, just because it's very much not as stressful as walking around at a festival is. But certainly was a nice experience. Nothing really connected to Dark Souls 2 though, so I'm probably gonna end that whole tangent right here. But I mean, it's kind of fun to think about some things at a festival, because then you realize, wow, I'm really walking a lot, my feet are really sore. And that of course makes me think, because I'm a freaking nerd sitting in my room right here, that, Jesus, this guy's feet, they must be hurting like crazy. I mean, think about it, the kind of distance that he travels. That's ridiculous. I mean, his feet must be like all swollen up and super sore. I don't even want to be in his position. I mean, really just don't want to be. I mean, even like neglecting the feet, he's already fighting enough monsters in order to make me say that. But yeah, I don't know, it's just a fun little thing to think about. So this is going to be the next boss here, and I should have enough for it. As I was saying, it's not the most difficult one. At the same time though, certainly want to go in prepared. So is there anything that can help us with this fight? I don't really think so. I don't think the throwing knives do too much. Maybe like a fire defense boost would be kind of nice right now. So let's maybe use that and then enter the mist right here, take care of the next boss of this area. And once again, as it's, I guess, very often the case in Dark Souls 2, we are fighting multiple bosses, and this might even, well, it's not really the most bosses you're going to be fighting in Dark Souls 2, but it's one of those higher enemy count boss fights. And the gimmick about this fight is that every time you kill one of the bigger skeleton lords, that is going to spawn a bunch of small skeletons, like 4 or 5 at a time. Then you have to kill them, and every single one of the skeleton lords spawns a different kind of skeleton. So in order to win this fight, you have to kill all those things, not just the skeleton lords, but also very much also very much the skeletons that they spawn. And I don't know, I find it to be a really cool fight. It's kind of creative, not necessarily the most amazing fight. I certainly wouldn't go out and say that, but it's kind of fun to have to like kind of traverse the area more strategically than usual, not just lock onto one enemy and punch him until he dies. Instead, doing it this way certainly adds some nice variety, and that should now be, oh, very soon at the very least, the last skeleton that the one guy spawned. So now, next guy you want to take care of is the guy with the, oh shit, alright, with the scythe or whatever you want to call that. And he then, I believe, let me actually go and heal up for a second. He should then spawn some stronger skeletons. So the first one we kill, of course, just spawned the standard skeletons. No, standard skeletons. And this guy should now spawn some armored ones. You can always pay attention to like where they actually come out the ground, then you can attack them even before they show up. And oh, it's kind of funny because they put their heads on first. Is that, no, there's another one right there. Alright, this is now, like, all of this right now, right here, is easy, right? It should be. I'm not doing my best work, not by any stretch, but those now were the easy fights for you to do. The second, or the, like, not even second, but third phase of this, though, is the most difficult one. And once we have defeated this last skeleton lord, he's actually gonna spawn a fan favorite, as you probably wouldn't call them, because he's going to spawn the bone wheel skeletons. So let's hit the right buttons this time around and try to take care of these guys before they take care of me, which easily could happen. I might even be able to just do it like that, and that was the easiest time I've ever had against these guys. So apparently lightning spear is like the best strategy against that, because usually, I mean, you probably know and remember the bone wheel skeletons. Usually they give you a hard time. And that's not even me exaggerating. It's probably one of the worst times you can have, even in Dark Souls 2. So that was really good that it went that smoothly. So, having dealt with those guys, we can now go up here. There should be another bridge for me to cross, very much right here. So let's pull that lever and then go across, and then we're actually going to enter the very next area of the game. And I think I've talked about this a little bit before. The way Dark Souls 2 is set up, you always start in Majula and then go out different paths, right? There's like 4 or 5 paths for you to travel down, and they're all relatively linear. It's not like they loop back around or anything. It's just hub area, all kinds of spokes, and what you're trying to do essentially is to get to the end of those spokes. And one of those paths was very much the one leading up to Sinner's Rise, so the one involving not only the Forest of the Fallen Giants, but also very much the Tower of Flame. So that was one path. Now we're going down the second path, which starts with the Huntsman's Copse, now leads to Harvest Valley, and then there's additional areas after that that I'm not going to spoil immediately. So while we're here, is there anything for me to drop off maybe? Just to, yeah, just to clean up my inventory for a second. Always hate having multiple items, but it doesn't look like I picked up too many multiples, which is rather nice. Maybe once we get to the armors, yeah, a little bit. But not too big of a deal, luckily. That, I think, is also a double. Very good, I guess. Alright. So, now that we took care of that, there's going to be another NPC for us to talk to. Relatively important NPC, I might add. So, let's get that out of the way. Talk to her right here.
Are you a traveller? I'm Chloanne, an ore-stone trader. I travel about collecting rare stones, which I sell to make my living. I never planned to visit this God's forsaken place. But I don't know. I just sort of ended up here. I must have just wandered in. But now that I'm here, I've been scouting around for rare bits. Oh, don't look at me like that. Many of these stones are quite useful. For instance, certain stones are used in smithing. Oh, now your ears prick up. I've extras if you can pay. This is my trade after all.
Alright, so female Hamlet over here, she sells a lot of like upgrading material, at least she's supposed to. Right now she doesn't really. She sells some Titanite shards, which are pretty useful. I mean, I will certainly give her that. But she gets more as we keep progressing here in the game. So let's talk to her for another while. She tells us a little bit about this next area, Harvest Valley, and how it was a mining area once, or kind of maybe still is even. But then they dug up and found like a big poison cloud thingy, which you will certainly see more of, or as a matter of fact can see a lot of already at the top of the screen right now. And that's going to be certainly a danger in this upcoming area. But what we want to do with her right now is just get her to the end of her dialogue so that she then moves to Majula. She's yet another NPC that moves there and can then be accessed permanently, which is awesome. Alright. And of course, she's also ended up in Drangleic and doesn't quite remember why she got here. I mean, that's a theme that you will be running into a lot in this game. People not really remembering how they got here. This guy's kind of funny. He's like listening. I don't know what he's listening for really, but it looks like he's listening at the very least. Might just be resting, and might just be my ignorance. Now just thinking that he's listening to that. I don't know. Whichever you prefer, you guys. But anyway, so we're here. There's like a field of poisonous gas right here, and of course that's gonna poison my ass, as you might probably be able to tell. And the way we want to now tackle this is first of all dispose of this motherfucker over here. I don't know how... Oh, that actually does a lot of damage, but also his attacks do a lot of damage, so let's avoid that. The good thing about his attacks, though, is that he cannot actually attack upwards. All he does is, like, shoot it straight. And that is awesome for us, because, of course, we can just stand on, like, higher grounds and then attack him and do stuff that way. And, actually, the way I want to now tackle this area is by just getting poisoned. It doesn't really matter. I can just use a life gem and, like, counteract the poisoning. So that is real good for us. Then we can pick up some extra items. I don't really remember if there's anything. What the heck? I wasn't able to control him for a second there. That was rather strange. But yeah, I don't really remember if there's anything too useful in here. But it certainly is going to be nice to just pick up some extra stuff. That was really odd that there was just this guy running around in the distance. Right, but we've already wasted enough life gems that I now don't feel as comfortable about that anymore. Let's instead maybe even run... Oh, I should probably heal up now that I'm really taking a look at it. Why don't we put a poison moss into our hot bar and then tackle things that way? Because we picked up like 3 a little bit earlier, that is probably going to be a good idea. There we go, got 6 of them. That should be relatively nice for us. Because there's like some additional stuff right here. I don't even think there's... Yeah, there's no poison in this room anyway. So I just could have come here if I wanted to. But, oh, hello, skeleton man. Certainly didn't expect you. But, I mean, you're not difficult to kill, so that is fine by me. Now, what's going to be down here? I don't even remember, to be completely honest. There's probably just a little... Alright. Gonna come back in a second just because I was kind of looking for skeletons. None of them spawned though, so... hey, that's actually where Gavlan is at. Totally is. Certainly am going to talk to him. First of all, though, what we want to do is go down here, open a little chest. Yet another chest. Giving us, I don't think anything important now. Fire seed, that's something you can use in order to then upgrade your Estus flask. And the other thing, what was it even? Divine Blessing, of course, is just another healing item. And something I don't necessarily think is too useful. Right. Raw stone, also another upgrading item. And now let's talk to Gavlan right here. Of course he remembers us. I mean, we certainly made an impression on him when we first talked to him. Having killed all these crazy monsters and stuff like that. And I don't think he upgrades too much. He might sell a little bit more of like each of these. But when we next talk to him, he is actually then going to allow us to buy an infinite amount of those items, which is super awesome. Now it kind of sucks that I dropped off all my multiple items a little bit earlier because now I can't sell them to him. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway, but would have been nice to get some extra souls this way. So there's nothing else we can do with him right now. All we're gonna have to do is hope for him to show up a little bit later. And I think I've exhausted his dialogue. I mean, it's not like he talks that much anyway, but I'd rather talk to him again just to make sure that he shows up at his last location. Which, let me think about it real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's not too far off. Then again, it's pretty far off, so let's not worry about it just yet. Let's just keep in mind that we're going to see him again, and he's then going to prove to be very useful. Because all those poison things, I am actually really fond of. Like the poison throwing knives especially. Those are really useful against a lot of enemies, just because you can then poison them and wait out. And wait for them to die. It's really useful. Alright, so the way I like to handle this situation right here is just climbing up like that. Of course, these guys are still gonna use their weird and somewhat useless attack. That gives you more than enough time to get up here and open up this next door. That's actually then also gonna lead to a new bonfire for us. Certainly want to be careful about this guy. Worked out like a charm. And now, well, we could either kill them, which is probably something I might want to do just for the extra souls. And using the lightning spear, of course, that's going to be very easy for us. So let's just do that real quick. You don't have to kill them, though. I do want to stress that. We can very easily just walk by them and slip through the little thing that we just opened down there. No lightning spears left. So how do we want to tackle this now? I mean, I would like to kill him now that I already started. Oh, is there another guy? I felt like there was another guy climbing up, but apparently not. Okay. Poison moss, we'll leave that on the hotbar for now. Let's just pick up some hexing urns and finish him off using those. Should work out. Oh, well, not actually. Well, I guess it does okay damage. Nothing to necessarily write home about, though. Alright, you man, I'm gonna kill you right here, right now. Thank you very much for participating in this episode. It's not like you contributed too much, though. And a sunlight medal, I didn't even know you would get that off of these guys. Yeah, and that should basically tell you that I don't fight them very often. Alright, but this is where the next bonfire is at. We absolutely are gonna rest at it. And now proceed a little bit further right here. We still have a little bit of time, so we can certainly explore Harvest Valley for another while here. And once again, pretty short area. It's just, it all depends on how much time you want to invest into like side objectives and stuff like that. Because you could easily just run through and enter the next area in like a matter of 5 seconds. But I'd much rather right now, yeah, approach things a little bit more slowly, pick up some extra items and do things that way. So there's another guy right here behind this wall. That is good for us. While it's good for us, though, we absolutely need to be careful with this. Because the cool thing about having him right there is that we want him to destroy that barrier right behind us. I don't really know how well that's going to work out for me, though. I don't think I've ever had him do that. In New Game Plus, this is much easier because there's actually just another one behind the barrier I'm currently trying to destroy. Also do want to heal up real quick, just because, yeah, those things actually deal a lot of damage, which I kind of forgot about for a second there. Just one, yeah, he destroyed it too. That's awesome. So I guess what we're gonna do now is avoid his attacks, just like we have been, and finish him off using some lightning spears. Of course, that's still the best way of damaging his ass. Alright, and this should now do. That works out. I'm happy about how that went. Alright, and there's just a few extra things for you to pick up. I don't think it's anything important. Oh, I guess maybe if you're interested in the old knight stuff, this is something for you to check out, but not like you absolutely need to go there. Right. So we could hop down there, and I think it's relatively useful to do that. And I might even go ahead and just do that right now. There's another little side area, and that's a longer one just because you are going to be dealing with a lot of enemies. But for now, let's just hop down here, open up this next chest, get some rotten pine resin out of it, and now hop down here and actually try to get out of this place without being poisoned too much. Right. If I remember correctly, all you want to do is run. And if we're fast enough, we might not even get poisoned here. That is actually pretty fascinating. I didn't expect that to work out as well. But yeah, now to that last little side area that I teased. I kind of dislike it very much, just because it's very stressful. There's a lot of enemies in here, and you're immediately gonna realize that as we enter, because there's now like freaking 4 or 5 of these bigger dudes. There's a relatively easy way of taking care of them, though, especially now that we have those lightning spears. So basically, how we want to tackle things is the following way. We are going to hide out in this little hole right here. It's also going to loop back around and bring us back to this open area that we basically started in. Don't remember what's over here necessarily. All that. Don't. No. I almost got him too. That sucks so much. I didn't even remember that. Otherwise, I probably would have used a lightning spear or something similar. But, yeah, the way I would like to dispose of these guys is by using lightning spears. It's not like they're really... Oh, shit. Aggroing too much right now. I mean, I guess now they totally are, but previously they weren't really doing that. Right, that's going to be one taken care of. Very good. Probably want to use Estus Flask instead of the life gems right now. And it's not like we really need to be doing all of this. You could just very easily like leave and be done with it, but I forget what kind of items are inside these other little alcove kind of things. These like tunnel entrances. So why not go ahead and check that out? Right. So we're gonna have to kill at least a few of these guys the melee way. It's not too bad though. All you gotta do is bait them much rather into attacking, and then take a few swings at them, step back again, and rinse and repeat essentially. Right, you could very easily now attack me. Please go ahead and do that, so that I have a much easier time with you. I'm just gonna probably combo you to death very much like that. Alright, that's good enough. Use the last lightning spear on this guy, and then finish him off very much like his little friend. Also, once again, a combo should do. Okay, that's good then. Let's now find out what's inside the other places right here. Don't really know what to make of this. Like, are they like little cells where they trap these guys in? Is it just like collapsed tunnels? Though it doesn't really look like it. Looks much rather like it was just carved out and not really completed, or whatever you want to call that. And yeah, I guess upgrading material is what you're going to be picking up for the most part in this area, just because it's the mining area of the game. And that phantom just now actually scared me a little bit, but okay. Life gem always good, and that basically then takes care of this area. Alright. Now, of course, we're going to go back to where we came from, that open area, and we're actually now also going to complete basically Harvest Valley and move on to the very next area of the game. Yeah, alright. I was a little distracted by the windmill, but it's nothing we need to worry about. At least not yet. Let me put it that way. So we're very close to entering the next area of the game. Let's maybe take care of this guy first. I don't think I've ever hopped down into this poisonous pit right here, so I couldn't tell you what's inside. Maybe it's gonna be something for me to check out. Then again, why bother? Why not just get to the end of this safely? And I think as soon as we enter this next area right here, we should be in the new... God, that's gonna hit. That was really just me being careless for no good reason. But once we enter this, we should be in the new area. So let's see what that is going to be all about, or when it just pops up, I guess. I remember it happening pretty quickly though, so I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Also, absolutely want to come this way. You do want to come this way. And there we go. That's actually now our little area. I don't know, label, I guess, indicator, whatever you want to call it. Let's go up here real quick, just because we don't want to be poisoned immediately. Then again, of course, we are now entering an area that is filled with little bugs that very much spew out poison for you to get poisoned by. And best way, I think, is just mailing him to death, and then never looking back and not worrying about anything anymore. So this, I believe, is a trap, so absolutely just don't go ahead and destroy that. I'm not gonna do it. I don't think I've ever done it. I just remember seeing like some kind of bloodstain or something similar to that at the bottom of it, and then thinking to myself, well, probably never going to interact with that in my entire life. So there's gonna be another guy up there. Don't want to climb up the ladder though. Just gonna go the other way around, and also going this way I can show off a nice little covenant that you guys might be interested in. I certainly am, because it's once again a fan favorite making a return. So I guess in that sense very similar to the bone wheel skeletons. Right. Oh god, I didn't even remember that guy. Where did he come from? I like seriously did not remember that guy. That scared the shit out of me just now. Right, come on over. Dude, come on over. Yes, you do that combo. That's probably my favorite combo for you to do. I certainly should have... Oh, that worked out really well, actually. Right. Right. I don't know what he is doing here. That confuses me so much. I mean, he's gonna be dead in a second, but still. How did he get here? I don't know. Anyway, so that there's, of course, a nice little altar for you to kneel at, and this is actually where you, yep, join the Warriors of Sunlight, or I believe the Heirs of Sunlight, as they're called in this game. And I don't know if I want to do that. I think I should probably, just because the blue thing that I'm in right now doesn't really help me out an awful lot. I mean, this probably isn't gonna help me out either, but it's nice to show some love to the Heirs of Sunlight. Yeah, of course that's basically Solaire's covenant, and I believe they also reference him in a few of the items connected to that covenant. So that's really interesting, and another connection to Dark Souls 1, and that is also, of course, something we will see more of as we keep making progress in the game right here. So let's be careful about this guy. Okay, that was close, but it worked out really well. Because, yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about it already in the last few episodes, and then said how there's, like, cool connections to Dark Souls 1 with, like, the Bug and Strayed talking about what I believe to be the Northern Undead Asylum. There's now a shit ton of these guys coming at me, which of course sucks a great deal. But maybe, oh my god, just maybe we're gonna be able to defeat these guys sometime soon here. I'm actually a little scared, to be completely honest. Let's just maybe go down here for a second and then take care of things in a much slower fashion. Can I kill this guy? Would certainly help me out a great deal. Alright. Oh, hello, mister. Didn't expect you to be there. That actually is going to kill me. What a piece of shit. Because there's like a bottomless pit down in the water. That's something I should have pointed out. Because when I went down there to get the Estus flask, like at the end of that poison path, you need to go down that path. If you go into like the more open area of that section, just gonna fall down and die, and very much what happened to me just now. God damn it. I mean, it's not like it's a big deal, but still could have worked out a little bit better in my opinion. Okay. So we did have a Ring of Life Protection on, which is something I usually don't do, so that is nice to see that I now did not lose all my souls. What did I even have previously? I guess the Ring of Restoration is what it probably was. But yeah, there's going to be another boss to this area, and I believe the way I want to handle it now is just rush to him for the most part. You can also very much do that, and I think, yeah, just looking at the way we died to that just now, and also looking at the time spent in this episode, why not just, for once at the very least, rush to the next boss and get poisoned in the process like an idiot. We can certainly work against that though. And then just challenge the next boss right here. Should work out relatively well for me, I believe. Of course, there's a bunch of guys here. There's also a chest up there that I'm basically now skipping, but not the most important chest anyway. But yeah, it gives you like a torch or something like that. Nothing particularly important. So we're fighting the Covetous Demon. He's a big, gross looking like Jabba the Hutt style slug, I guess. And I can't really talk about his lore too much right now because I need to focus on not dying to him. Sunlight spears don't really seem to be the best way of dealing with him. So why don't we try some melee next? And this is actually a really neat boss fight, I find. I mean, it's not the most terribly creative in the game, but there's a lot of cool stuff for you to do and experience in this fight because he can do a very fun attack. I don't know if he's gonna do it anytime soon in this current fight right here, but certainly something that gave me one of my best Dark Souls 2 moments, I would say. Right, be careful about everything now. You can also do a little tail attack, which is never nice. Okay, that was scary as all hell. And also he can do the following, which is certainly something I want to avoid. Roll over attack. Very bad for business. Jesus, I didn't even see that. Now did I? S this up real quick. He might jump for me. He also does that every once in a while. And oh, not even. He's going to spit out some stuff, which I didn't even remember was a thing with him. But okay, so far, so good. And I might just spoil it right now. The attack that he does and what gave me one of my most beloved Dark Souls. Jesus! What the fuck is up with that? I never saw that. Most beloved Dark Souls 2 moments is when he chews you up, because then he actually just unequips everything. Your weapon, your armor, he unequips everything, and that is so cool, because then I was running around here navigating the menu, very similar to this, and trying to equip the closest weapon that I could find. It was really fun. Certainly not the best boss fight, I'm not saying that, but it makes for some really cool and stressful moments. And also a moment that is just not too often encountered in the rest of the game. But anyway, having taken care of this guy now, we can go up right here and rest at another bonfire. Lucatiel is also going to be right here again. And that is basically now going to conclude this episode. So thank you so much for watching. We took care of not only the Skeleton Lords, but also the Covetous Demon, and basically concluded 2 areas. Not even. I shouldn't say that, really, because there's a lot more of Earthen Peak in the next episode. But anyway, took care of 2 bosses and picked up a lot of items. So that was a really successful one. I hope you're going to tune in for the next one. And then we are probably going to finish this area for good, though. So, yeah, I'll see you then. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, goodbye, guys.